Welcome to the PI Podcast, your destination for everything NFL, discussing the latest news and providing in-depth analysis of every NFL game. And now, here are your hosts, Ian and Tesh.
Okay, one sec, guys. I need to figure this out. It's going to be this. And there we go. I'm just gonna align it right. It should be okay. There we go. Alright, guys. A lot of you probably will see it after the live. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me. I don't know. Yeah, you guys will see it all live, but we're gonna go over some things. I'm gonna go over a little bit of the NFL news that happened today, and yeah. So I have it right here. One second. So today, okay. So some of the biggest news, like I'm gonna get the Michael Parsons last on this list right now, but because that's probably the biggest. That's the biggest one, obviously. So Steelers released veteran Robert Woods. They signed him, but from the practice squad, and they signed him on the practice squad, and then they released him with Robert Woods' own request. Woods is the older receiver, as you guys know. He's 33 years old, and this is now his 13th season. Robert Woods, I think a couple years ago, he was a solid depth option, like just to mentor the receivers, because he's always been a solid not I wouldn't say slot exactly, but he's always been a really really good receiver. In that role as wide receiver 3 or 4, like he's always been that role guy that you could always come to on like a second down if you need some yards on second and long, or even third downs in some cases. So, it's interesting to see where his career is going to end. It's kind of feeling like he's about to retire, especially if he's leaving the practice squad because he wanted to. So we might see a future retirement announcement soon. Giants, if you guys saw it preseason, Jackson Dart looked good. Like, I mean, I know he was playing against backup defensive players, backup everything, but he looked really, really good. And the anticipation he had, the amount of looks he had towards the defense, the way he figured out the defense, the way he threw the passes and accurately on time, anticipation. It was really, really good. What's up, Tim? How you doing, dude? How you doing tonight, Tim? But yeah, Jackson Dart looked good, and he's officially been named as QB2, so he's backing up Russell Wilson. And he surpassed Jameis Winston. Like, I mean, you'd expect Jameis Winston, who had to start for a while, to like get the backup role. But it's surprising that Jackson Dart looks good. If he gets a chance this season, it's gonna be awesome. And it's gonna be fun to watch. He was fun to watch in preseason. First of all, what you up to, Tim? How you doing, dude? How do you think your Panthers are gonna do? So apparently, Pro Football Talk, they ranked the Miami Dolphins as oh yeah, good. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you. Ian was supposed to be joining me, but he kind of never replied back. So he probably fell asleep or died, one or the other. Or he ate too much because I know he probably was eating something. So we'll figure it out later. But I am here. We're gonna be going over every single game in a minute. Um, maybe 7 wins. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna take a look at your schedule, anyways. I'm gonna go through all the teams. Oh, well, I'm gonna go through the games this week, and then we'll go through some team schedule and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to get back to this. Honestly, like even if I do this stuff myself, I think it would be a lot of fun. Because I do have a little tab that says 1 person, 2 person, 3 person. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Um, and I'm glad all my layouts and all that stuff stayed like work still. So that's cool. But apparently, Pro Football Talk ranked the Miami Dolphins as the 29th best team, fourth worst team in the NFL. They finished 8-9 last year and missed the playoffs. And Ian might be joining us. I just texted him that I'm alive. Tim, so maybe you'll see him in a second. He said he got sidetracked. I have no idea what that means. He probably was. I don't know what he's doing. He's a Ian's Ian. I hope you heard that, Ian. If he's here, I hope you heard that. Yeah. So the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are actually. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year. Um, it just depends. Mike McDaniel to me is just a weird coach in general. I just never thought he was amazing when he got hired. Like, yeah, he had the experience being on coaching staffs for his career, but it never really got me as like a guy that can make a team a championship team. And I think this is gonna be Mike McDaniel's last year, honestly. I definitely do not see Mike McDaniel's getting that team to a Super Bowl. Like, I mean, there's just too many polls now. I mean, you just traded Jalen Ramsey, who was a decent corner for you guys after he's on the back half of his career. So now your corners aren't great. So now you gotta find more corners. You gotta work on your defense again. You got Bradley Chubb, but he's kind of digressed a little bit since he came from Denver, barring his first season in Miami. So that team's going to be interesting to watch this season. See if that offense can compete with everybody. If that offense can stay that explosive offense that we're used to seeing that scored 70 points against the Broncos 2 years ago. So that is going to be interesting to watch. Yeah, so the Broncos worked out Deuce Vaughn. Who surprisingly got released by the Cowboys. I think Deuce Vaughn's a really good player, but apparently he didn't do well in practice and training camp and whatnot. So the Cowboys did release him, and the Broncos are in need of a running back. A lot of people are high on RJ Harvey. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, RJ Harvey can be good, but the Broncos just need a starting solid running back, and it's gonna be by committee this year. So I don't know. He's got overtaken on fantasy drafts this year. So I have no idea. And then also, well, Tom Brady, as Tom Brady does, he's now a Fox analyst and minority owner of the Raiders. Um, oh, the NFL modified its rules so he can participate in certain team game planning meetings. Oh, dang, that's actually kind of crazy. Um, yeah, dude, that's all right. Well, that is kind of cross. Tom Brady getting access to like team game planning meetings while also being a announcer, sports broadcaster is kind of barring the lines. It's kind of cutting that line to a threat. Like it's kind of crossing those lines. And then Cincinnati, the Bengals, their defense has not been great, as you guys know. and they didn't really change much. They just appointed veteran Mike Pennell as a team captain and signed him to the team. But I am really interested to see what they saw, what the coach saw, what Zach Taylor saw that was like that he'd be like, okay, let's keep the same team. Trey Hendrickson drama was still going on all off season, so see where that ends up. So Joe Burrow is going to be an interesting topic. We'll talk about Joe Burrow in a second when I go over the games, but it is interesting. So yeah, so recently Johnny Manziel was on a podcast, and he says he still hates the Cleveland Browns and roots for them to fail, while also taking full responsibility for the NFL failure. Yeah, that article's kind of crazy, but I don't know why. He was a horrible player to begin with, so I don't. The Browns gave him an opportunity. I'm not defending the Browns because they got Deshaun Watson. I mean, I don't really care for them anymore after that. But I mean, you kind of screwed your NFL career by partying. So how are you gonna hate a team that drafted you? I don't know. Drafted you number one overall for the most part. So I don't get that. Johnny Manziel's a crazy guy, so let him stay crazy. All right, and then as we all know, Micah Parsons was just signed and was just traded to the Green Bay Packers, which has got to be by far the craziest thing that happened before the NFL season started in a couple of years, uh, barring the free agencies and stuff like that. Because free agency last year was crazy, as well as this free agency year this year. He signed a record-setting 4-year, $188 million contract, highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. And his agent literally told reporters that Parsons wanted to stay in Dallas, but the negotiation tactics that Jerry Jones has said he did triggered his feelings and emotions, and there's a lot to talk about there. I kind of want to go over the games first, so we will do that to begin with, and then we'll kind of near the end we'll kind of talk more about Michael Parsons because I could talk about that Michael Parsons trade for a while. There's a lot of things to go over with that, and like about Jerry Jones, how crazy he is as an owner. Why would you let a 26-year-old in his prime, elite superstar edge rusher, leave and go to another team? And in spite of that, you got 2 first-round picks and a 30-year-old defensive tackle that is nowhere near the level of just the level of Mike Parsons. I just don't know how to say it. Level of Mike Parsons. I don't know how you trade that in his prime. I don't know how you don't work with him to get that deal done as soon as possible. Your team takes a big hit now in the pass rushing department at all. Kenny Clark's a really good D tackle. I've watched him play. Really good D tackle, but he's not Micah Parsons, and he's not going to rush the passer as good as Micah Parsons was. So it's just an interesting story there. I'm going to go over it again near the end of this. But now I will go over the games real quick. I'm going to preview this week one's games. So we will do that. If any... Tim, I'm going to do yours first, actually, since you're here. We'll go over the Panthers game first. So, first of all, Tim, what do you think? You think your Panthers are going to beat the Jaguars? First off the back. I'll start talking about it, but I'll let you answer as well. So first, we're going to go over Panthers Jaguars Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll go after the Thursday night, then Friday night, then on. But Panthers, the off season was yeah, really? Like Tim? Okay, I see you. I really liked what Bryce Young did towards the end of the season last year. He got it clicking. Like he figured something out that he hasn't done before in his career. Like he got the game planning, he got the effort. Everything just clicked for him from a quarterback standpoint. Like you were seeing him anticipate throws, you were seeing him be accurate. You weren't seeing him scramble and not know where to go with his decisions. He just became a different quarterback towards the end of the season, and it was fun to watch. I was there at the Falcons Panthers game, the last game of the season. Unfortunately, we lost, but it was such a fun game to watch that shootout. Bryce Young looked so good. Penix looked so good. It was just a shootout, and it was a game that everyone you once in your life you need to see a shootout happen in real life. Like those are the games that you'll never forget, honestly. And it was such a fun time too. Um, but the Panthers they drafted Ted McMillan in the first round, and early preseason wise, I know you can't tell too much from preseason, but early in the preseason, you could tell that Bryce Young found a connection with Ted McMillan, and he's projected to be the number one receiver, especially since Adam Thielen's gone, and now Jalen Coker got injured, so Jalen Coker won't be playing this week. Timetable injury. I'll have to look that up. I'm not totally sure what his timetable is. And then defensive wise, the Panthers have always been defensively sound. They haven't always been great the past few years, but they've been defensively sound. And that offense, if Ted McMillan and Bryce Young can get that thing going, that might be a really good offense, especially now that Bryce Young's got stuff clicking. He really liked to go to Adam Thielen for his like security route if he was ever in trouble. So it is a little confusing why they would trade Adam Thielen as well. You would want to help Bryce Young more, especially when he started figuring things out. But I don't know. Um, yeah, Panthers just Cuba Hubbard's good. Oh, let me get in the Discord with Ian. One sec. One sec, Tim. Sorry. All right, got there. Sorry about that, Tim. I think I'm still good. Yeah. Okay. Here, let me go back there. Bam. They put him on. They put him on. Russell left tackle appendix removed. Likely to make week. Oh, okay. I got. Oh yeah, Jalen Coker. Okay, cool. Okay, it's not good. Had appendix removed. Okay, so he'll be back within a couple weeks, I bet. Oh, hello. Wait, am I in? Or okay, I need to get your camera actually. Hello. Hello. Let me one sec, Tim. You see something?
Hello, hello. I'm not going to do my camera today.
Well,
Okay, yeah, good. All right. We are going over right now week 1 Panthers Jaguars. And I just was If you want your face cam, I already have my cam ready to move in, but if you wanted to. Oh, you don't have your thing set up? Okay. Okay. Oh, there you go. You can hear Ian, Tim. I got an idea. Yeah, I was basically talking about how Bryce Young had started. I didn't go to Jaguar side at all yet, so he came in perfect timing. But I was talking about Bryce Young. He started clicking towards the end of the year. Saw that shootout, that game I went to last year, Panthers Jags. And we're talking about the wide receivers, Adam Thielen getting traded, Jalen Coker getting injured, and Tim just so you can't hear Ian. One sec. 1 second. Let me add another audio catcher. Yeah. I think that's the right one. All right, talk. 1 second. That's not the right one. Okay. So we will go to microphone default. We'll go default. See if that works. Okay, talk. Ian? No, that's not the right one either. Okay, Discord. Let's try that. Okay. Talk, Ian? Okay, that's not working either. How would I add your Discord audio? 1 second, Tim. Let me figure this out. Because I have the Realtek audio one, that should work. Well, actually, let me do this. Let me delete that. 1 second. It should be good now. Oh, okay, I just gotta do this. Alright, let me remove this one. Oh, it's good now? Okay. So let me go back, properties, view. Okay, and then I think I need to do this. Audio. Catcher from speakers. Okay, talk now, Ian.
Hello,
Okay.
hello, hello.
I got it.
Good stuff.
Figured it out. Now you should be able to hear Ian. Tim. You should be good now and set.
Cool, awesome.
Is it working? Is your audio good?
Yeah, I heard my voice, so we're all good.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, Tim can hear you. Okay, cool.
Cool, perfect.
All right,
Tim, it's been a long time, Tim.
yeah.
We're excited to be back. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'll add about the Panthers, because I don't know how far you guys got into that discussion, they did start clicking at the end of the year last year. And it looked like the Bryce Young that the Panthers thought they were drafting, those last 2 or 3 games, he really, really looked good. I mean, you got to watch it the last game of the season last year where you guys both put up like 40 something points, right? Like,
Yeah.
able to get the ball down the field, made the tough throws, had time in the pocket, and now you add Tet McMillan to that wide receiver room. I mean, who knows? They could be a sleeper team, honestly.
Yeah, I just pulled up their depth chart right here. They added Rico Dowdle in free agency from the Cowboys. They released him, but they also drafted Trevor Etienne or signed him undrafted free agent, Trevor Etienne. The wide receiver right now on their depth chart is Ted McMillan at 1, Xavier Legette, David Moore, Hunter Renfrow, Jimmy Horn Jr., tight ends Jatavion Sanders. The Lions pretty much the same with Icky, Damian Lewis, Corbett, and Taylor Morton. And then on defense, they still have the All-Pro Derek Brown, who's still really good. But other than that, J.C. Horn's still there, Trayvon Moehrig. Nick Scott's, I think he wasn't there last year, but he's their free safety this year. So
Coker going down was a big hit, big hit. But I think Renfro, I would think, could help alleviate some of that pain of losing him.
They actually released him before this week, and then they tried Thielen and then signed him back. And he was destroying them in training camp, like literally, he was destroying the Panthers corners left and right. It was crazy to see. Yeah, but the only thing I'm worried about the Panthers is how they've always been sound defensively, no matter who they've had. Their run defense has always been solid. I wouldn't say top half defense wise, but they've had some defenses that have been good. But this year is just besides J.C. Horn, Trevor Moorick, and Derek Brown, who is gonna really show out other than those three? Like, you gotta have a good pass rush, you gotta have good linebackers, you gotta have good corners, and you gotta have really good safeties. I just don't see them being able to compete with a high scoring offense or being able to keep a team low scoring to like 10 points or 14.
Yeah, but if Bryce Young does what he's supposed to and they can at least score 20 plus points, they should be in games.
Yeah. Especially if he doesn't figure it out and Tech McMillan goes off. They should be able to get in the games. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go first on your Jag side. So, Tim thinks Panthers can win this game.
This is probably one of the few games that I think could go either way. Week 1. It really depends on how both teams enter it, in my opinion. Because reading Twitter comments on both sides of the ball, Jags fans and Panthers fans, they all think that they can win. And if both teams go in not respecting their opponent, whoever respects the opponent more is going to be the winner. The Jaguars need to go in thinking it's a real game, and the Panthers need to go in thinking it's a real game. But the thing I'll add from the Jags, I thought it was cool that we got to watch the preseason, kind of get an idea of how Travis Hunter is going to look on both sides of the ball. He's listed right now as the wide receiver 2, but as a backup corner. So we'll see how that goes. But I think the Jags got better in the offseason. Obviously, I think every team that's going into the season thinks their team got better. But, I mean, I saw a complete 180 from last year just in the offseason.
Yeah, the Jags, if their offense can stay healthy, they'll be clicking. They have the weapons, obviously, with Brian Thomas Jr., who was a stud last year. Their running game, there's kind of going to be a little bit of a question mark of who's going to be starting, especially since right now they have Travis Etienne starting and then Tank Bigsby behind him with Tootin behind that as well. But I think by the midpoint of the season they're gonna switch that up because I think Tank Bigsby is probably the better back now. Travis Etienne he just can't hit that hole that he needs to properly. I mean, he can go down, he can stretch the field if he needs to, but vision wise, I think Tank Bigsby is a little better vision wise.
Yeah, I've had the conversation with a lot of people I know. If I was the GM, to me, I would trade Etienne. I think your backfield is strong enough to where you don't need him. But I think having him kind of gives you the option to put players elsewhere. Like you can put Tootin at kick returner. You can put somebody like Tank Bigsby at kick returner. You can give you can always have a healthy, rested running back going into the game at all times when you have 4 running backs on your roster that can start at any time. But I agree with you. Tank is the best running back on the roster, in my opinion.
So sorry for whoever drafted Travis Etienne in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably going to use him a lot week 1 and 2 and 3 probably, but I think as the season goes on, you're going to really start seeing Bigsby or Tootin take over.
Your defense linebackers are really good, and the pass rush has been really good. As long as they can get the pass rush, your secondary won't have to do too much, and that's the big part I'm worried about, the secondary.
So the safety room is a question mark to me. They drafted Caleb Ransaw to be the starting safety, and he got hurt in the preseason and is out for the year. So they're going to have to go out with Wingard and Eric Murray, which I don't love. But like you said, if the pass rush does what it's supposed to, gets to the QB, it's going to help a lot. And one thing I'll add, when we last played the Carolina Panthers, Josh Hines Allen sacked Bryce Young 3 times. So I think that's the key to victory for the Panthers. They need to keep Bryce Young up.
Yeah, and
If you,
your
I was
offensive
just
line
gonna,
too. Yeah, you could talk about your offensive line too.
yeah, I was gonna say really both sides. The thing I'll add for us is we don't know what this offensive line is really going to look like. We know who's playing each position, but they've never played together other than the preseason.
Dang.
But that's going to be a question mark too. So I'm not, the Panthers' defensive line isn't bad.
Yeah. He has the weapons though. Trevor has the weapons to be able to get it out quick if he needs to as well. I'm really interested. So right now the Jags defensive line, as of week on paper, they should outplay the defensive line of the Panthers.
Yeah, you would hope. I mean, Josh Hines Allen is who he is. Kind of inconsistent from a numbers point when you look at his sack total. Trayvon Walker's coming off back-to-back 10-plus sack years. With better interior play, you should see him get 13 this year.
That'd be nice. Dude, the defensive line is gonna get a lot of sacks. I just have a feeling they are. Just based off like they're actually putting Eric Armstead where he needs to be. So that's gonna be
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a huge help.
yeah. I'm just looking at this. I actually have the next gen stats pulled up too, so I really love that website. They added it this year. It's NFL Next Gen Stats, and it's free for everybody. You can see a lot of stats a lot of stats from last year and the years before as well. It's actually really really cool. They have a lot of different stats that you couldn't find just googling it as well.
Is that what site is it?
It's nxgenstats.nfl.com.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm just looking to see. You can see their charts, their Super Bowl charts for like all the players and stuff like that. Stats, but you can just so much you can look at. So you can see like Saquon Barkley was the top rusher, of course. We all know that. Derrick Henry, Bijan, going down the list. But I do know there's a lot more stats you can look up. I'm just not sure where. I'll have to figure that out eventually, but it is a cool website to look at. But going with Panthers, Jags, who do you got, Ian? Panthers or Jags?
I mean, I'm gonna go Jags. I have a lot of reasons. I could literally talk about it all night, but I'm not gonna do that to you guys. I really think Liam Cohen is gonna change this team for the better. Now, I do think there's gonna be growing pains, but I mean, I watched the team go out there week 1 of the preseason and commit like 15 false start penalties. He went to the podium after the game, said there was too many penalties. We'll fix it. The next week, there was not a single false start penalty in the entire game. So that's just kind of what I think Liam Cohen's going to do. I think he knows he needs to run the football. He knows he needs to get Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. the ball. And he knows every play he calls, he has to make sure there's an answer for Trevor. Like last year, Trevor was back there not having answers to the test when it came time to execute the plays. And I think if option 1's not there, there's going to be an option 2 and an option 3. And I really think Trevor's going to have a career year this year.
Keep talking about that. I need to put him back in his cage. 1 second.
Okay.
Keep your mouth going.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty high on the Jaguars this year. Obviously, as a fan of the team, who could, that's obvious. But I really think Liam Cohen is going to be the difference maker. Along with just the offseason we've had in general, I think they did a good job bringing in talent that the team needed. So I think the offensive line should be a little better. The defensive line is going to be better because everybody's playing their correct position. There's quality depth. I saw a stat over the course of a few weeks just on everything Jaguars related. Going into 2024, there was 3 defensive ends and 8 defensive tackles on the roster. This year, there's 6 defensive tackles and 5 defensive ends. It's just crazy that how different the roster is set up. And along with those defensive ends last year, they expected Eric Armstead to be a defensive end, and he's not. They just made a lot of bad decisions last year. Doug Peterson, terrible. I really have no. The Jaguars lost 10 one-score games last year. It was an NFL record. Somewhat better coaching, you're winning at least half of those. They lost to the Texans by a combined 7 points in 2 games. They lost less than 7 points to the Vikings, Eagles, and Packers, and the Texans twice. Multiple playoff teams. That was with the 31st ranked defense. There's no way Liam Cohen doesn't get this team to 9 wins. You can book it, you can clip it, you can bookmark it, whatever you got to do, but there's no way the Jaguars don't win at least 9 games this year. And one of those, to add to that, you have to beat the games. You have to win the games like this that you should win. So when you're looking at the schedule, Panthers, you got to beat that team because next week you play Cincinnati. The week after that, you play the 49ers. The week after that, you play the Chiefs. There's just too many tough games early on in the season. You have to win these kind of games, the games that you should be winning. But I'll also say Panthers are in the same boat. This is a game they should be winning if they want to make some noise this year, if they want to dethrone the Bucks, the Falcons, so they need to win these games too. So it's a tough conversation because I think both teams are very similar in their rebuilds. It's going to come down to coaching.
I like how you didn't mention the Aints because they're not doing anything.
Yeah, they're not doing anything. They're going to be in contention for the number 1 overall pick.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't. I saw all I needed to see in the pre.
Yeah. That team's a mess. Okay, we'll talk about them in a little bit. But yeah.
And the bad thing is, I actually like Kellen Moore, but he is getting screwed going to New Orleans.
He really is. Dude, they've been under the negative in the cap for like 4 years. And somehow they signed people.
Yep.
But I'm going to go Jags here as well. I just think Trevor in that offense is going to just show up. I think they're going to show up this for week 1. And I don't see him losing at home week 1 right now. Especially with all the hype surrounding this team right now and Travis Hunter. His first time in Everbank. Oh, well, whatever the stadium's called now.
Everbank, yeah.
Yeah. They did change it back. Okay. But yeah. I do like. I just need to see. Maybe it takes a few weeks for Bryce Young to get clicking again. Has been a whole off season, but if he can keep going from where he landed off last year, they have a shot to keep it close. But I'm gonna go Jags 27-14. All right, so
I'll take it.
We got that done. Tim, if you have any other thoughts, or just let us know.
Yeah, I'd love to hear a Panthers fan's opinion, not just obviously because I think the end of the year for them, a lot of Panthers fans are probably very pleased with. How Bryce Young ended up doing, the Xavier Legette, kind of making some noise. I'm curious their thoughts on what's going to happen this year. What's a good year? What's a bad year? What's a disappointing year? Are they disappointed if they don't make the playoffs? Because I'm not disappointed if we don't make the playoffs. It's year 1 of a rebuild. For them, it might be a little different.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that want to make noise, and their quarterbacks can start clicking at any moment. So this is gonna be a fun week 1 matchup. Honestly, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I think this is a really good. I agree. I think it is a really good week one matchup because I don't think there's any like blowout type games. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't really paid that close attention. Because I feel like the games that could be blowouts are divisional games, so they're going to be close. Like the only game I'm looking at that's like it could be a blowout is maybe Giants Commanders, but that's a divisional game, so there's a chance it's a really close game. Or the Browns and Bengals, but again, that's a divisional game. It could be close.
And the Broncos Titans.
Oh, I forgot about that one actually. That one probably is. Dang, Denver. I actually forgot about that, and actually, it's funny because I was talking about Cam Ward. What a week one game for him!
Oh,
like that's essentially. I was gonna say that's essentially equivalent to what they did to Arch Manning this year and making him play Ohio State week one.
Oh my God, Cam Ward's gonna have a hard first week of this. Welcome to NFL, Cam Ward.
I know. That's a welcome to the NFL moment.
Tim said he thinks he's not sold on Bryce. It's a make or break year for him.
Yeah, I mean that's very fair. Very fair. Luckily, the situation's a little different because we paid Trevor. So you guys haven't paid Bryce Young yet. So if it is a make or break and he doesn't do it, like no harm, no foul. Obviously, you guys gave up a lot to get him, because they were the ones that traded up, right? They traded with the Bears and then they ended up having yeah. So, I mean, I know they gave up a lot to get him, but still, at least you didn't pay him.
Yeah. That trade was crazy. The Bears, I think they would trade, but
yeah, hard not to agree with that. Well, you could argue if Caleb doesn't show out with Ben Johnson, which I don't think is going to happen. I think it'll be at least decent.
Yeah, the Bears got DJ Moore, first round pick, which they used for Donald Wright. A second round pick, which they used their starting corner, Tyreek Stevenson. A 2024 first round pick, in which they got Caleb Williams. And then a second round pick this year, which they got Luther Burden. So.
Oh yeah, see, Luther Burden's gonna be good.
That's 4 starters that Bears got, and then Luther Burden's already in the roster.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely a win for the Bears, especially if Caleb Williams works out.
Oh, dude, I think he's gonna go to the next level this year. But we'll get to
he should.
Yeah. So let's go Thursday Night Football right now. Cowboys, Eagles, first game of the NFL season. Eagles coming off the Super Bowl win. Cowboys coming off a season in which injuries riddled them, and Michael Parsons no longer there. They have Kenny Clark.
Yep. So Eagles are projected to win by 7.5 points. I think that's a little low. I would take that personally. But it's a good matchup. I mean, it's a classic divisional matchup. I mean, we were talking earlier. I was telling you, I don't love divisional matchups week one, but I mean, out of all of them, Eagles, Cowboys, that's a iconic game.
Yeah, it's a good rivalry matchup that usually can be close at times. It just depends on how each team's season is going. Dallas doesn't have a running back right now, and they're kind of just well, they have a running back, Javonte Williams, but after his ACL tear, he hasn't really looked the same. And rookie you were talking about the other day, Jaden Blue, is their third string. But they also have Miles Sanders behind him. Offense stays the same, except George Pickens is there now. Jonathan Mingo's backup, technically fourth receiver, but he's on IR. Behind CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens is Jalen Tolbert and Cavonte Turpin.
I mean, I'll say another notable loss is Nakobe Dean for the Eagles is out. He is on IR. Estimated return is like October. So they will be without one of their best linebackers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But when you're Howie Roseman and you draft very well, they will be fine without him.
Yeah, true. They do have a deep depth chart. Like they draft so well the last like 4 years,
Yeah.
4 or 5 years. It's actually
The other thing,
crazy.
the other interesting thing is obviously Dallas cleaned house, so they have all new coaches, and then the Eagles lost their offensive coordinator, so it could look a little different on offense.
Yeah, and for the Eagles, you saying?
Yeah, they lost their OC, Kellen Moore.
Oh yeah, the Saints. Yeah, that's actually that could be big, honestly.
It could be, yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, if you think about it, the Eagles, when they lost Steichen, they had kind of a down year. Where I mean, they still made the playoffs, but it was a down year for them, and they, then when they got Kellen Moore, they spiked back up. But who knows? What if this OC is not good?
Yeah. I was just looking at their depth chart. The left edge rusher starter is Moro Ojomo. I am not familiar with this game.
I have no idea.
He's not a rookie either, I don't think.
Yeah, I have
But
no idea.
this game is. I was kind of intrigued to why they put this game as the first game of the season. Usually, it's a really good. I'm not saying this is a horrible matchup, but it's a good matchup. But it's interesting because the last few years we've got like blockbuster, like kind of
Yeah.
week one, like opening kickoff games.
Yeah, Lions, Chiefs 1 year. I think last year it might have been Ravens, Bills or something. It was a good game last year too.
Yeah, they've been really good. But here everyone's expecting the Eagles to win. I think the Eagles are going to win, of course. I'm interested to see how George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb complement each other and how that Cowboys defense is going to get pressure on the quarterback without Micah Parsons and they did get rid of DeMarcus Lawrence too, who's now on the Ravens. So it is really going to be interesting how Kenny Clark does. Jerry Jones, oh my God, he said, "Oh, we needed to stop the run." All right, get DeMarcus Lawrence out, get Mark Parsons out. Who's gonna rush the passer now? I know you have Osa Digizua, who's really good last year, but your edge rushers, who's gonna go get the quarterback? And if you can't do that, is your secondary gonna be able to cover the Eagles receivers, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and now they still have Jahan Dotson, and then who they just get this year as well?
Uh,
They got another wide
I don't
receiver
remember.
from somebody that was actually decent. But regardless, they got four
Dude,
receivers that you got to cover. Oh,
wow, I
have to look
can't
at their
remember.
depth chart actually. I'm right here. They want AJ Brown, John Mechie, literally.
Oh, Mechie from the Texans, yeah.
John Mechie. I'm surprised that. I'll get to that when Texans come. But yeah, I got Eagles winning. I'd say 27-10, honestly.
I'm gonna go a little bit different. I am gonna say the Eagles,
Yeah, I feel
but
like
I'm gonna
it's gonna be
go.
closer, but
I actually think different. I think it's gonna be like 42-17 or something.
God dang.
I think it's gonna. I would imagine it's a 20-point win by the Eagles.
Yeah. Week one's always like it's unpredictable.
It's tough to, yeah,
It's always unpredictable. But
because they could start off slow.
yeah,
New OC,
they
who
could always
knows?
drop
But
the game too. Because remember last year we beat them. Falcons beat them on Monday Night Football.
I mean, I'm just saying you could probably give somebody a crayon book and score 30 points with the Eagles offense between AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, their offensive line, Dallas Goedert, Saquon, Jalen Hurts. You could literally give me a crayon book, and I could go out there and call plays for the Eagles and drop 30.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this matchup's gonna play out this year. Right? It's a whole new team for the Cowboys, and losing pieces, stupid pieces.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to watch. It's gonna be a fun game. We get to move
Yep.
on to Friday night. So this year we get Thursday night kickoff game and a Friday night kickoff game. So that's even better. 2 days in a row. Uh, Thursday, Friday
Yeah.
kickoff games.
Yeah, and
Chiefs
this one's live
Chargers.
on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it is interesting. First time ever on YouTube. So everyone
Yep.
it's free to watch.
Yep. And it's a good game. Chiefs Chargers in Brazil.
Yeah, literally Brazil.
I think this is going to be a good matchup, though. I mean, this is probably one of the best like returning teams. Like the Chiefs didn't do much in free agency. They didn't lose much. They didn't gain much. But they still have Andy Reid. They still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have Kelsey. Chargers, same thing, where they got, they kept Jim Harbaugh. They kept Justin Herbert. They got Keenan Allen back. They got. I think it's going to be a fairly good matchup, honestly, and it shouldn't be like, to me, there shouldn't be much hiccups or like slow starts because both teams are basically the same.
Yeah, I think year two in that John Harbaugh system is gonna help Justin Herbert even more. Yeah, he had that 4 interception game in the playoffs last year, but I think that was very uncharacteristic of him, and
Yeah.
especially I think some of those interceptions, or most of them, were kind of forcing them because he had to, because he had no run game and no receiver help. And
Yeah.
that McConkey is gonna be good. He might break the reception record like Puka did. Oh well, Puka did it the rookie one,
Yeah.
but he might. I
I,
had Lad McConkey has a chance.
Yeah, I mean, you got Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnson, who, if he can fix the drops, man, he can really be a good receiver. They picked up O'Marion Hampton at running back, who's going to be a stud. I really think he's going to be really good this year. They picked up Trey Harris. So the team does look a little different, but I mean, I think the core is there. Joe Alt, um, he's really been good.
They did resign Keenan Allen, yeah.
The defense. I mean, their defense. Jim Harbaugh's, he runs the football and he focuses on, good defensive play. I mean, I really think that we can talk a little bit more about the game, but I actually do not know if the Chiefs will win this one.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually, okay. Well, that's the thing about this game. This game can go either way. Either Chiefs are
Hmm.
gonna be the Chiefs and keep their streak going of being dominant against their
Hmm.
division, uh, or the Chargers actually show up and they upset the Chiefs by last minute field goal or last minute touchdown. I would love to see that, by the way. But
Yeah.
for me, everything just points to Chiefs being 1-0 this year. I mean,
Hmm.
regardless, John Harbaugh is a really good coach. I love Justin Herbert. Omari Hampton, I really want to see him play. I'm excited to see him play too. And Najee, how they do as starting roles for that team. And the wide receiver core, I can even go on. Wide receiver core, it's gonna be interesting to see Keenan Allen back, actually having weapons for Justin Herbert. How that's gonna look, the offense gonna look. The defense, if they can actually stop the run this year, because they haven't been able to the last couple of years. So that's where Pacheco might go into play, where he's gonna be able to run down their throat, and then Mahomes is gonna play action it to Xavier Worthy, even though they don't have Rashee Rice right now. Um, Everything just points to the Chiefs just getting it's not an easy win, but getting a tough, gritty win. To make
Yeah.
people to have people saying, "Oh, it's the Chiefs again."
Yeah. The noticeable guy that's out is obviously Rashi Rice, serving a suspension for 6 games. Um, Big loss for them because their schedule to start off the year is really tough. So this is a game that they have to win. I mean, obviously, week one, you could argue, but when you look at their first 5 weeks, man, they play the Chargers, then the Eagles. They got an easy one against the Giants, but then they play the Ravens, then the Jags, then the Lions. You've got 4 playoff teams from last year that you're playing in the first 6 weeks. So you're really hurting yourself without Rushy Rice.
Yeah, it was not a good time for Rashee Rice to go out. And
Yeah.
a lot of them are primetime games too.
Yeah. A lot of them are. I want to say, let's see. I know the Jaguar game is a ball game. Obviously, the Chargers Chiefs is Friday. Sunday 4:25. Giants is Sunday night football. Jaguars Monday night football, and Lions is Sunday night football. So yeah, you got multiple primetime football games.
Yeah, and well, they're used to under being under lights, so
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much because Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are so good at elevating the play around them. So, I mean, you could kind of throw whoever in there to, take over, but Rashi Rice being out is going to hurt.
yeah. I mean, he was really stepping up last year. Before he did get hurt his ACL tear, unfortunately. But he was in my dynasty. Unfortunately, he was in my dynasty, and he was hot to
Yeah.
begin with. Damn, sucks for me. But I had to drop him.
Chiefs,
So it is what it is.
Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah, it's dude, it might be another close game like the Chiefs did last year. Like they've been getting lucky.
Hmm.
I think they win by a touchdown this game though. I do like the Chargers. I just haven't seen what they look like this year, and we all know that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are the best coach and player in the NFL right now. I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard to stop them, and I don't think, especially with their schedule, it's a must-win game for them. I think Andy Reid's going to be preaching that. I just see the Chiefs winning 20 to 10.
Okay.
That's my pick.
What's the next game you got?
You said you got Chargers, right?
I got Chargers. Yeah, I'll take Chargers 20-17.
Ooh, okay. Next up, a little bit of a interesting one, especially for both teams. It's the Dolphins and the Colts.
Yeah. Well, the media seems to think that the Colts are going to be a sleeper team this year, but that's disgusting to even think about. I mean, you simply do not have a quarterback.
Nah, you really don't. And this guy you're supposed to technically be starting isn't starting.
Yeah. So,
It's gonna look a little.
yeah.
There's the thing about the Colts though. Last year their defense actually looked better than it was on paper. DeForest
Hmm.
Buckner's still really good. They got Laitu, who took a step from his rookie year last year. He's gonna take a step this year. Grover Stewart and Kwity Paye are good. And then Zaire Franklin, their linebacker, is good. Nick Cross is a good safety. Cam Bynum can be decent. And then they got Xavier Howard. They signed him this year. And then they
Yeah.
also have Kenny Moore. So their defense on paper this year from last year is pretty decent. And I think they'll be able to help their offense if their offense struggles. But I just don't see it happening against this Dolphins team that if everything goes to plan, they're just gonna light up the scoreboard again.
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That now, ESPN has the Colts as the winner, but they are only 1-point favorites,
Dang,
and the money line's basically even.
that is tight. I think it's gonna be a really tight game.
Yeah.
Remember, Minka is on the Dolphins now, so they just got a little better in the secondary as well.
Yeah, a couple notable injuries / questionable players. So this is something I would keep an eye on for fantasy purposes. Towards Sunday, Tyreek Hill, Devon Achane are both questionable, and then Josh Downs is also questionable.
Sheesh. Tyreek Hill, but an oblique injury too. Dang. But he says he's
Yep.
participating in Monday's practice, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think they'll play. I think they'll play.
Yeah, I really think the Dolphins are going to win this one. I think they made the notable additions to their defense, and I think Tua's not going to get hurt this early in the season. So
Yeah,
I got the Dolphins winning one. I think it's be 30 to 20, if anything.
yeah. I think Dolphins win this too.
Next up, Steelers Jets. Aaron Rodgers debuted for the Steelers, going against the former backup quarterback in Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN has Pittsburgh as the favorite. I find no reason not to think that. Obviously, with Justin Fields being in New York, Mike Tomlin is going to know everything to do to screw Justin Fields up in his first week. He's literally going to call the perfect defense. 100%. I could see Justin Fields going like 14 for 30 with 130 yards and 2 interceptions. I really could see this. This could be a very bad game for Justin Fields. I'm not very high on Justin Fields anyway. But I think, like, out of all the games, you're playing against your former team, and it's a defensive coach that's going to, with one of the best defensive lines and defensive secondaries in the NFL right now, that's going to be a very tough game for Justin Fields.
Yeah. I think this is going to be either one or two ways. Either the Steelers just figure out Justin Fields and it's going to be a blowout, or it's going to be a really defensive game, especially because
It could
both
be,
these
yeah.
teams play really good defense. Even though Steelers, I know they lost Minka, but it's going to be. I think they can make up for him. And the Jets have always had a
Yeah.
good defense the last 2 years, and they've gotten better. So,
hmm
who's the Jets coach now?
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn. Yeah, I think he's going to have that defense ready to play.
Yeah, the defense is going to look good for the Jets, and I think also for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you're right. I think it's either going to be Pittsburgh is going to click, or it's going to be very close, low-scoring game.
Yeah, and that offense, Justin Field has the weapons he wants if he wants them. Brees Hall is still there. Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson's still there. Braylon Allen's been really good too as well. I mean, he's a rookie year last year, so this
Yeah.
Jets team might be able to surprise people, but I don't know. Against a really good Mike Tomlin led coach team, I just don't know.
The reason Mike Tomlin has the winning record that he does is because he wins the games like these that he's supposed to.
Mhm.
He's going to go in here and call a perfect game. It's probably going to be a gritty, close game. If I had to be realistic, it's probably not going to be a blowout. It's probably going to be a tough defensive battle where the inexperience of Justin Field is going to show, and the Steelers are just going to be super conservative with the football, not throw anything too deep, not do anything too crazy, and they're going to win a very close knitted game. Before we do our predictions, I do want to say a couple notable injuries. Derek Harmon, the first-round pick. I think he was a first-round pick. He might have been a second-round pick. No, he was a first-round pick for the Steelers, a defensive tackle. He is out with an MCL injury.
Ooh.
Calvin Austin is questionable, so they are kind of thin at wide receiver right now, which is why they were interviewing Gabe Davis and stuff. So we'll see what they decide to do there. And then on the Jets, Alan Lazard is out.
Oh, okay. This makes it even worse because outside of Garrett Wilson, it's Josh Reynolds and Xavier Gibson who's questionable. So yeah, they're gonna be thin at wide receiver in this game, unfortunately.
Yep. Now they did pick up Mason Taylor though, the tight end. So that could potentially help them a little bit. But yeah, they're very thin at wide receiver. But so are the Steelers.
Yeah.
Because they lost Pickens.
Yeah, it just makes for the defensive game, especially with being thin and wide receiver. I don't think Aaron Glenn's gonna run the ball. They're gonna pass the ball too much. I think they're gonna rely on Justin Fields' legs, which they
should. And their running backs too.
Yeah.
They have a pretty deep running back room, but so do the Steelers. So, they're gonna roll out with DK Metcalf, Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, and Ben. And Ben Skoranek, but then their tight ends, they picked up Johnny Smith. So they got Pat Freiermuth, Johnny Smith, and Darnell Washington, and Connor Hayward. They really have a good tight end room. And I think Johnny Smith can play wide receiver the way Arthur Smith used him in Atlanta.
Yeah, and last year in Miami, like they used him really well. He was getting really
So they are thin at wide receiver, but really they have a lot of pass catchers.
Yeah. Which is going to be good. I'm excited to see DK Metcalf play this game.
Dude, it's crazy because so many teams are going to look different, but then it's also crazy. So many players went back to their original teams too.
Yeah, It's actually kind of fun. Like Gabe Davis going back to the Bills just now recently.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of crazy. I'm gonna go with Steelers here. I think it's gonna be like 17-10 or 17-7. Uh, but I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna take the Steelers here.
I'm going to go 17-14 Steelers.
Okay.
Steelers win.
Well, this is week 1, guys, so like you never know what's gonna happen. So we'll be coming back to our reactions. So that's gonna be fun to see as well. We went over Panthers Jaguars. All right. We can probably get this through this one quickly. Cardinals Saints.
I knew you were going to say that. As soon as we can get through this quickly. Cardinals are the favorite to win this. Hard not to see why. Nothing too crazy on the injury front for the Cardinals. The Saints looks like Taysom Hill will be out for the first 4 weeks. Their other tight end Morrow will be out. They're missing Penning. They have a lot of injuries.
Yeah, damn.
But yeah, this is going to be a nasty matchup, in my opinion. I don't think this is going to be very good. I think it's going to be fun for fantasy reasons for the Cardinals. I could see Kyler Murray having a good bounce back game to start off the year. You know, Trey Benson's going to be exciting. James Conner is going to be exciting. Trey McBride should be exciting, and Marvin Harrison Jr. should be able to get a lot of catches too. Because again, I'm not very high on. I could see the Saints not winning a game this year.
Dang. I'd say the one thing about the Saints is they always come prepared pass rush wise. Their pass rush is usually pretty good. I think it's also going to depend on the Arizona Cardinals' offensive line if they can hold the pass rush that the Saints somehow can't get every year from that group. But also they do have a lot of weapons. I really like their wide receiver, their receiver room basically, because not even James Conner. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, who's a stud from last year. Like he got more target.
Yeah.
He did more than Marvin Harrison in his rookie year last year. I know it's Michael Wilson's second year, but still, I think Michael Wilson's still going to be really good. They added Zay Jones, who can be a good slot receiver. Trey McBride, holy, he's a really good tight end. I mean, and they got Elijah Higgins backing him up. Like he was a really good rookie too.
Yeah.
Greg Dortch. I mean, their wide receiver room is kind of loaded. There's no reason for the Cardinals to lose this game. I'm gonna Cardinals 30-14.
I like the score. I think Cardinals have a chance to score a lot of points, and I think the Saints. I mean, I hate to be so down on them so early, but they're not very favorable anywhere. You know, I mean, they're starting Rattler.
Yeah.
You got a rookie head coach. You got a very old roster. 3 offensive linemen are out. It's going to be really hard.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, look at their defensive line. I mean, it's usually pretty good. Cameron Jordan, Devon Godshaw, Brian Breesy, Carl Granderson, Demario Davis is usually good. Then they got Chase Young as well, who's played good for them last year. And their cornerback room, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Lante Taylor, Justin Reed, Justin Blackman, safeties. I mean, they got good people there. I mean, it's just that Spencer Rattler is the starting quarterback. I just don't think they're going to be able to score many points.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
All right, here we go. A fun matchup. Danger Russ is back, but not with the Steelers. He's with the Giants, going against Jane Daniels and the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, I'm high on the Commanders still. I actually went back and looked at my old YouTube videos on my Around the Ball channel, and I actually made a video specifically for the Commanders. And it said this team might be a sleeper team and make the playoffs.
Oh
And
God.
somehow I was like dead on that. And I mean, I love Dan Quinn. Love Dan Quinn. And I think Jaden Daniels is a great quarterback. I think he was the best in the class. Obviously, after seeing him for a year, you can make that decision, but they just did everything right. They paid Terry McLaurin. They've got a decent defensive line after demolishing it. I mean, you got to think they got rid of Chase Young. They got rid of Montez Sweat. They got rid of so many people, and they immediately made the playoffs with that.
Yeah. It's actually kind of crazy to think that that team went to the NFC Championship game. Sure, they got blown out by the Eagles, but I mean, to get that far when a team that wasn't even projected to make the playoffs, a team that wasn't even projected to get 7 wins, I believe,
Yeah.
and they did it with a rookie quarterback that actually stunned so many people. It's absolutely insane that that happened. The Giants, they got Russell Wilson. He can be sharp whenever he wants to be. It just
Yeah.
what Russell Wilson are you gonna get? You're gonna get old Russell Wilson, or you're gonna get newer, older Russell Wilson. So that's where that's gonna come into play. And then Tyrone Tracy is a really good running back. I think he's gonna shine a little bit more this year. And Malik Neighbors again, stud. They got a decent wide receiver room. Theo Johnson's there. I liked him last year as well.
Yeah, I like Theo Johnson too.
Did
I
Theo
drafted him
Johnson?
in 2 different leagues.
Yeah, he did. I did like him. I don't. I kind of forgot about him in drafts this year, but I think he's still gonna be really good. And then the Giants, they got one of the best pass rushing units I've seen in
Yeah,
football.
absolutely. If the offense can keep the defense off the field to catch a breath, if they can just string a couple drives where they can get 2 or 3 first downs, couple field goals, 2 touchdowns and like 4 field goal. If they can just get it past the 50 and keep the defense off the field for a little bit, they are gonna be a monster unit.
Yeah, it's actually crazy that they added Abdul Carter, so it's gonna be even better of pass rush when Kayvon Thibodeau took such a big step last year. It's actually insane. Like they were just getting pressure. I think I saw a game against the Cowboys. They were just getting insane pressure like crazy. And the Cowboys line isn't horrible. They're a pretty decent offensive line.
Yeah.
That team's gonna be good. That pass rush is crazy. I'm just interested to see again Russell Wilson on this new team. If Jackson Dart will start this year, we don't know because his preseason kind of got people excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think because you have 2 vets on the roster with Winston and Russ, I think you kind of got to let them play so Jackson Dart can kind of develop a little bit behind them. But I mean, the future could potentially be bright with if he gets a full year of sitting behind him. Maybe let him play a little bit if you guys are like 0-7 or something, 3-6 or something. Maybe let him play then. But I like what they're doing.
Yeah, they have a lot of faith in Jackson Dart, especially from his training camp preseason, because they have him over James Winston on the depth chart. He's
Yeah.
Russell's backup, so he's earned his spot there at the backup.
Yeah.
What's interesting, especially about the Washington Commanders, Brian Robinson Jr. was good for them last year. Like he was a stud for them,
Hmm.
and they just traded him.
It kind of goes to show how much faith they have in Austin Eckler and Ja'Cory Merritt, Krosky Merritt, the new guy they just drafted. Because, like you said, Brian Robinson Jr. was a decent back.
Yeah, he was getting touchdowns. Like he was a good fantasy option last year, and now he's just going to the Niners. I
Yeah.
see Austin Eckler last year. He kind of looked like he slowed down a little bit because of his age. Which I thought he was gonna do a lot better last year, but I just don't know as a starter. I don't know if he can get that back from when he was on the Chargers. I don't. It's there for him to succeed, especially with this offense. It's really explosive, but I just don't know. As someone's good. I think Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. He might be the starter halfway through the season. I just don't love their running back room right now because there's a lot of question marks.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is you're able to feed off what you did last year. They did add Laramie Tunsil, who's one of the best left tackles in the game. He just commits a lot of false starts. But when it comes to actually blocking, they're pretty damn good.
And Deron Payne's still there. They got Bob Wagner, Frank Lou, who are really good linebackers. They got their team back. I mean, other than they got Quan Martin, Will Harris, who played well last year at safety position. So this is gonna be interesting. If the Giants pass rush can get there, it's gonna be a closer game than people think. But I'm gonna go Commanders. I think it's gonna be 21-14, honestly, or 21-10.
Yeah, I could see this being a game where Jaden Daniels is sacked 7 or 8 times, but I still don't think the Giants' offense is good enough. So I'm going to go Commanders here as well.
All right. Next up, we have Tampa Bay versus Atlanta Falcons. First week of the season in the Georgia Dome. I mean, not Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
That's actually good for you guys.
Yeah. Michael Penix is starting first season as a starter. Yeah, as full season to start.
They have this a very close game.
It's gonna be. I really think it's gonna be a really close game. I mean, it's either gonna be a shootout like we had one of that Thursday night football game. That was one of the best Thursday night games last year, or it's gonna be kind of in the middle-ish. Like it's gonna be score here, score there, and in the second half they adjust, and then it's gonna go scoring's gonna go down a little bit.
Yeah.
The Bucks offense is actually they got a lot of weapons this year. I mean, it just adding Ibuka as well, and they lost some pieces on defense, but their defense is still there. They can play well. That Tampa Bay team is good. That's what I'm gonna say first of all. And then my Atlanta Falcons. I'm excited to see Michael Penix start his first full year. I think he has the arm talent. His arm talent is just as good as anyone in the league. He can bullet it anywhere he wants. He can rocket that ball. He can throw it as deep as he wants at anywhere. And Bijan, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, that room is loaded. We have weapons there for his disposal. The 1-2 punch with Bijan and Tyler Algier, another of explosive running backs right there. And then our offensive lines have been top 10 every year for the past 2 or 3 years. Unfortunately, we lost Caleb McGarry, but I think right now, I think we can handle a replacement at that right tackle. At least it wasn't like a Jake Matthews or Chris Lindstrom. So that kind of worked out for us, but I'm interested to see how the right tackle position. That's going to be a big factor in this game. And then our defense.
Oh, no, go ahead. Finish up.
And then our defense, 2 new draft picks, Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr. They said Jalen Walker has a good chance of playing, but he is questionable. But he's on. Raheem Morris said he's on track to play week 1. And then unfortunately, the defensive end last year, appreciated Brandon. Brylan Trice, who we drafted last year, was a pass rusher. He tore his ACL last year and was out for the whole season, and now he's on IR again because he aggravated the knee again. So we might not even ever gonna see him play, unfortunately. All I want to see, really realistically, is the pass rush. Jalen Walker and James Pierce. If we can get to the quarterback this year, especially with Arnold Bucchetti making a big step last year, if we can do that, the secondary is good enough to be able to hold wide receivers and tight ends and anything an offense throws at us. Especially, one other interesting thing is we're starting 2 rookies in the secondary. Xavier Watts at free safety and Billy Bowman at nickelback corner. Yeah, those are going to be 2 just things to watch out for in that game.
Yeah, I mean, pass rush got to get there. I mean, we've talked about it, every year for the past 3 or 4 years. Pass rush is what the Atlanta Falcons has been missing. You thought you had sort of the pass rush, with Grady Jarrett, Ebiketie, but now, unfortunately you do lose Grady Jarrett, but you got 2 stud edge rushers now that should be able to get to the quarterback as long as Walker plays. Also reading that Mooney is questionable, but I mean they've got some injuries too that they're working with. Cade Otton questionable, so I mean it's one of those rivalry division games that are fun to watch. It's going to be a fun to watch game. It should be a shootout in my opinion. In Atlanta, specifically because it's in Atlanta, I think I'm going to give this one.
Yeah, I might be a little biased, but I actually think it's going to be a really, really close game. I think it can go either way, which is why this matchup is so tough to pick. But I think at home, I think Penix is going to show why he's the starter and why Raheem Morris is so, and our whole coaching staff is so high on him. Even though I know people have question marks about Michael Penix and, oh, can he really lead this Falcons team? Can he really be a starting quarterback in the NFL? I think he's going to show out. I think he's going to have 270 plus yards. I think he's going to throw 2 touchdown passes. And he's going to have a 70% completion rate. I think he's going to show out and prove why he's a starting quarterback against a division rival that is supposed to be winning the division. So I'm going to go, I think the Falcons win 30-20.
I'm not going to give a score because I have no idea, but I do think the Falcons win.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be closer to than 30-20, but um,
Yeah, I was thinking 30-20. Really have that.
I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch. Next up, we got Bengals and Browns.
Again, I was talking about this earlier where it's like Bengals should be able to destroy the Browns, but it's a division game. They play each other twice a year, all the time. It might be closer than people think.
Yeah, they just signed Myles Garrett to a huge deal.
Yeah.
And their defense has always been playing well. They got Mason Graham in the draft, who's pretty good. That's actually really good, actually. Just watching his college highlights and stuff. Their defense has been able to play really well. They got good corners. Greg Newsom's a really good corner. Grandel Pitt, Ronnie Hickman, good safeties. Denzel Ward. They got good linebackers. Devin Bush. So their pass rush is there. Their corners are there. I mean, it's really proving like the Bengals have such slow starts every year, which is so weird, especially because they do start in preseason, which at that point, theoretically, you shouldn't have slow starts, especially if you get some drives in preseason. So I don't know, but this Bengals offense should be able to blow out the Browns. I mean, realistically on paper, they should be able to beat them. The only concern is that defense. They did not change much on the defensive front for Bengals. Like, I don't know how the coaches went into there and was like, oh, our 2024 defense just allowed 50 points every game. Oh, let's keep up for next year. I think we'll be fine. That is the biggest question mark to me of the Bengals. That's going to be their deciding factor of if they make the playoffs or even get 9 wins. That's the biggest question mark.
Yeah, I mean, the new defensive coordinator hopefully can make them play a little better than they did last year. But again, I think it's a lack of talent on the defensive side of the ball for the Bengals at this point. You know, when you're paying guys, he got a lot of money tied up into 3 positions, specifically edge, wide receiver, and quarterback. Hard to fill out a roster when you're paying guys. You know, Joe Burrow's making $55 million, Jamar Chase making $35 million, T. Higgins making $30 million. Like, it's a lot. Hendrickson just signed for 35 or 40 million, whatever his was. It's a lot of money tied up into 3 positions.
Yeah, it really is. Especially when you did nothing to help Joe Burrow on the defensive side.
Yeah. I mean, I do have Cincinnati winning this game. But it's a divisional game. Anything could happen here, but I think the Bengals win this.
Yeah, I think the Bengals handled the Browns, even though they've been slow week 1, guys. I'm just gonna say 35-20 to 17. I mean 35-17.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All right. Next up, we got the Las Vegas Raiders, their new look team, and
actually, hang on. I looked it up because I was curious. Joe Burrow is 3-5 versus the Browns in his career.
God, dang. Oof.
He did sweep him last year, though.
Yeah, that helped. I don't think Joe Flacco's the guy, though. I don't think they're just. Again, you can't go into the season questionable at quarterback. That just can't happen. Joe Flacco's gonna throw a pick or two. Honestly, he might throw for a lot of yards, but he'll throw a pick or two, or even
Yeah.
potentially be like, "Oh, Joe Flacco beat the Bengals. Browns are gonna be good. Joe Flacco's gonna be so good," and then he just goes down the hill, flatlines. Next up, we got Raiders and Patriots.
This is a new era for both. Raiders picked up Pete Carroll. I like that both of them went after bona fide, historically good coaches. Pete Carroll, historically good in Seattle. Vrabel, historically good in Tennessee. Both teams just decided to go a different direction because they could tell they were kind of at their ceiling. Pete Carroll was never going to coach the Seattle Seahawks to another Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel was never going to coach the Tennessee Titans to a Super Bowl. So it's like, we know this. Let's move on. Still good coaches. So I think both of these teams who have been historically bad the last 2 years, they've got coaches that can help them get to the next level. Whether that's the long-term answer or not will be determined in the future, but it's two good coaches to get these guys out of the hole that they're in.
Yeah, I really like that they signed Pete Carroll. I mean, Pete Carroll's a really good coach in general. And then what he did, he went up and fixed the quarterback position. He went, "Oh, I'll just trade for Geno, a guy I know
Yeah.
that can succeed, a guy that I know that can produce, a guy I know that can go in and lead a football team to wins and be able to make the playoffs." That's exactly what he did. That's how you play football. You answer the questions that need to be answered and give good players their chance and be able to bring teams into playoff contention. That's literally what a good coach does.
Yeah.
And they got the weapons. Gianti, amazing, perfect, exactly the pick they needed. They needed a running back after trading Josh Jacobs last year. They signed Amari Cooper, which I know he's on the slower side of his career, but I think he's going to be decent, which is probably going to be his last year in the league. I think he's going to retire next year. Just judging by this signing, I think he only signed the Raiders because he wants to finish his career out right here. But other than Gianti and Raheem Mostert, the wide receiver room has Jacoby Myers, Amari Cooper, and Trey Tucker, which are the stronger receivers. But then again, you got two stud tight ends in Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, so they have all the offensive power that Geno Smith needs.
Yeah.
And on the cornerback side for them, they really, outside of Eric Stokes, they don't really have anybody, so that's going to be a little interesting to watch who steps up for that cornerback room. They have Darian Porter and Darnay Holmes officially on the roster as starters. But Max Crosby's still there. They can get some pressure. Adam Butler, Jermaine Pratt, and Landon Roberts are pretty good linebackers, especially Devin White as well. And then they have Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin's always been a good safety. So there's that. I'm excited, Patriots wise. Drake May, his second year. That's really obviously what I want to see. And Travion Henderson. I think Ramondre Stevenson is going to be benched week 3. Honestly, if I had to call it,
Yeah.
week 3 he's going to be benched.
Yeah, that's I kind of agree with that. I mean, you drafted Travion to take over that backfield. It doesn't matter what you're paying Ramondre, because I know he got a contract extension last year, but I mean, it's a new regime, so they're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah. I still think it was kind of crazy they fired Jerome Mayo after only 1 year. I mean, they got Mike Vrabel, who's an amazing coach, but that's kind of crazy. Still, that you fired him after 1 year when it wasn't even his fault. It was kind of, he
Yeah.
took the roster from Bill Belichick's last year.
Yeah, I have a theory that they put him in place to lose a couple games so they could get Mike Vrabel the year after. Like, they knew they wanted Mike Vrabel, and I think they just used him to get them to him, basically.
Yeah.
Because they needed a coach, so they were like, all right, let's let Mayo get a chance, and we'll go get Mike Vrabel next year.
Dang. Yeah, that's actually crazy. Actually, they had some pretty good additions this year in the defense. I mean, I haven't looked at it in a minute, but they added Carlton Davis from the Bucks as the corner,
Yep.
and they added Harold Landry, who was really good on Titans. So they got a
Yeah,
lot.
my only complaint with Carlton Davis is he's a little older, but I mean, that defense is Mike Vrabel is going to make sure they play hard.
Yeah, and starting at strong safety is Jalen Hawkins, who is a former Atlanta Falcon. Interesting there because their safeties are a little questionable. I like Jalen Hawkins when he played for us. He never started, but he had a lot of coverage issues, so their safeties are a big question mark there. But they still have Gonzo and stuff to help in the secondary as well.
Yeah, and their pass rush should be somewhat decent.
This game's actually it can be a toss up. I mean, it's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little tough to tell because both teams are gonna want to start hot. They want to start off this new resume to a 1-0 start. Both coaches are really good coaches.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say I think the Raiders' offensive weapons are better than the Patriots' offensive weapons. And I say that because I think Stephon Diggs is a good receiver. He's coming back from a major injury, so who knows what he's going to look like when he hits the field. He didn't play at all in the preseason. There's no telling how explosive he's going to be after an ACL tear. But the Raiders, Geno Smith is a very good quarterback. I don't think he's top 10, but he's definitely a top 20 quarterback. He's going to be smart with the football. You got Brock Bowers, who was the best tight end in the league last year. You've got Gianti, who is a generational type running back. I feel like they signed a wide receiver, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
Do they have a wide receiver?
Raiders?
Yeah.
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper, yeah, for his final year. I mean, the weapons are there.
Yeah, he doesn't. You don't even have to look at a wide receiver room. I mean, no, they don't really have anybody. Trey Tucker's speedy, but they also have 2 tight ends and running backs. So
Oh yeah, what's the other?
Mostert.
John Mayer, right?
Oh,
The
Michael
tight end.
Mayer. Michael Mayer.
Michael Mayer. Yeah, John Mayer. I don't know. The singer.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Well, I guess you could try football.
So I personally am going to have the Raiders winning, but this is a hard one. I'm not like mad at the Patriots winning, or
Yeah,
I think it's a tough game for both teams.
it is. I think it's gonna be the Patriots here. I think their defense is better than the Raiders. Maybe not pass rush Max Crosby wise, but I still think their defense is gonna be able to cover at least more than the Raiders' defense will, offensively. So I don't know. I'm going Patriots here. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think Drake May is gonna figure it out, and Mike Vrabel is gonna have that team ready to play defensively. I mean, I think Christian Gonzalez is gonna get an interception here this week. I'm gonna take the Patriots 20-17.
All right. So we had one.
This is our
One.
first
Yeah.
different one.
Disagreement.
Mm.
All right. So now we got the 4 o'clock games, right?
Yep. Starting with the 49ers and the Seahawks. Divisional game again. There's a lot of divisional games this year in week 1.
So I'm curious what they lost a lot of defensive pieces on free agency. The 49ers did. But I really think they had a fluke bad year last year. They had a lot of injuries. They still are very hurt at wide receiver, though. Is actually interesting. But the Seahawks are now going to be with Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp. So their team looks a lot different than it did last year as well.
Yeah, I mean Jackson Smith-Njigba is really good receiver. I mean, it's crazy to think that a year ago Seattle had DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and JSN like a real big triple threat, and then just
Yep.
next offseason they're gone, and now you're starting receivers JSN. That's actually
Yep.
kind of insane how fast the NFL works and how business works, because I still think they could have had the same 3 wide receivers and they would still been really good competitors this year, at least for the playoff spot.
They did. They are going a completely different direction. Who knows if it's going to work? But I mean, I feel like they knew they weren't going to make a Super Bowl with the team they had. kind of like what I was saying with Pete Carroll. Like they decided to get rid of Pete Carroll because they knew he wasn't going to lead them to a Super Bowl. So they go a completely different direction. So I'm not mad at what they did because I personally would not have moved from DK Metcalf, but he was going to need to get paid, so maybe that's why. But it's interesting.
Yeah, and the Seahawks wise, their defense, I really like their pieces on defense. They got a lot of pieces on defense, and they added DeMarcus Lawrence now. They were
Hmm.
already getting pressure with like guys that aren't premier edge rushers, but they're good pass rushers. And now they add DeMarcus Lawrence to that mix. And yeah, watch out for their defense. And all their key players. Look, Boya Mafe, Tariq Woolen, Julian Love, Devin Witherspoon, Kobe Bryant. Like, jeez. They got some weapons and they got a defense. Again, Sam Darnold. Can you do it with this team? Vikings were, in my opinion, a more stacked team. That's probably not the right wording, but they had more weapons, in my opinion, like more weapons that are more explosive. I should say. So it's going to be interesting to see if Sam Darnold can do it again with less explosive talent. And then for the Niners, I still like Brock Purdy. I think he distributes the ball better than most other quarterbacks, and he can manage a game really, really well that most other quarterbacks can't. So I think with Christian McCaffrey back, it's going to be we're going to see the same Niners offense from a few years ago. Probably not as explosive, but they'll be able to figure out zone coverage a lot more and throw into zone easier. And I think they're just gonna manage run, run, pass. They're gonna go down the field, manage the game. Brock Purdy's gonna manage it, get a good drive, each in and out.
Yeah, the thing I'm going to add is I'm not convinced that Sam Darnold is going to be good now that he's away from Kevin O'Connell. So that's my biggest question mark for the entire game is Sam Darnold going to play like he did last year? I don't know if he can because I think a lot of that was Kevin O'Connell, but I also think that the 49ers losing some key pieces on defense is going to be a big issue, but me personally, I'm going to go 49ers here in a close 23-20 game.
Yeah, the Niners, they're gonna be a little hurt. I mean, not really too bad, but Javon Jennings is questionable, but he's participating in practice, which is good. They did lose. Niners lost pieces on defense that I feel like they could have kept, like Hufanga. They could have kept, and some of the other guys they should have kept because Hufanga is young, and he's really good too.
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt them. But Jair Brown is actually really good safety, so I guess it works. But I still think they're gonna be a really good team. They're gonna be sound offensively. Kyle Shanahan is, if not, he's probably the best offensive play caller in the league right now. I mean,
Mhm.
almost. He's at least top five. Uh,
Kyle Shanahan, I'd say, is the best right now.
yeah. I mean, yeah. His play calling is more advanced than anybody I've seen ever.
Mhm.
Like, and I know from experience because we had that 2016 offense that rivaled the Rams. Damn, what was their nickname again?
Mm,
It
I
was
don't remember.
the nickname for their offense. It was like, dang, it was the 2000 Rams offense. It was like they're really good. It was that it rivaled them. That's how good they were in 2016. Like, if you go back and watch that tape from 2016, the Falcons offense, they were getting 20 plus yard chunks almost every single play
Hmm.
that they called. It's actually insane. But
Yeah, that was the year Matt Ryan won MVP, right?
yep, exactly. And with that, I'm not sold on Sam Darnold, and the Seattle lost too many offensive pieces. I don't know if an older Cooper Cup's going to be able to fix that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Niners here. I think it's going to be 24 to 17. I think if Sam Darnold plays okay, they're going to keep it close, but 24-17 Niners.
Yeah. Next game up
Your
is going to be.
your favorite game.
Uh, I'm actually skipping that one. I'm going to go Texans Rams this one. We'll save that one for after the Lions Packers.
Okay.
Texans Rams. This is a really good game because I think both teams have potential to be a playoff team. Both teams can win their division. But we'll start off with the Texans because I watched them more, so I kind of know them a little bit better. Shaky offensive line. That's the big. Any channel you turn on, ESPN, NFL Network, they're talking about Texans offensive line. It's very bad. I don't know if they did enough to fix that, but their defense is going to be dominant. They will have one of the best defensive lines in the league. You still have CJ Stroud back there. Missing Joe Mixon for the first couple weeks is also not ideal. And I don't know if Nick Chubb is the answer. He didn't look as elite the last time he played, and then he's come off a big injury. And they're also without Tank Dell. So there is a lot to kind of be concerned about the Texans early on in the year. But they still have CJ Stroud, a new offensive coordinator, so they should look a little better on offense than Bobby Slowick's last year there. So, I mean, you can be optimistic, but that offensive line's really bad.
Yeah, look, you have to protect the quarterback in this league, and that was a big reason why they lost that playoff game last year.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't. He's gonna get CJ Stroud's gonna get hurt if you don't fix the line. I've seen they did kind of try to fix it a little bit, but they might be a little better this year. Who knows? We're just gonna have to see how they mesh. Sometimes it takes like
Yeah.
4 or 5 weeks for an offensive line to mesh if they haven't played together. But Joe Mixon being out is gonna hurt a little bit. I think Damian Pierce and Nick Chubb can hold the fort for a little bit, but I think they're gonna more rely on Nico Collins and Jaden Higgins a little more. They did add Christian Kirk, which is nice. He was good in Jacksonville, and he was good in Arizona as well. And I think he could be that clutch guy that they need on third down whenever CJ Stroud needs it.
He will probably be better this year. He'll probably be better this year because they used him as a number one wide receiver. He doesn't have to do that in Houston, so he actually might be better in Houston than he was for us.
Yeah, and then they got Dalton Schultz as well and Cade Stover. I mean, two decent. Dalton Schultz has been really good for them. So they got weapons. Just gonna be interesting to see that run game how it works. And then they got a really good pass rush. I mean, Daniel Hunter, Will Anderson on the edges, then Mario Edwards and Sheldon Rankins on the defensive line in the middle. I mean, really, really good pass rush. And then they got linebackers as well and pretty good corners and CJ Gardner-Johnson, who if he plays, is gonna be nice. Dude, I feel bad for Tank Dell. Like, I really wish he would have been able, but he will be able to play a full season. It just says CJ Gardner-Johnson is questionable. It doesn't say anything about no description or anything. So we'll see. But the Rams, I think their offense is going to be pretty the same. I think losing Cooper Kupp, I don't think it'll hurt as much, especially since they signed Devontae Adams. He's just as good a route runner, if not better than Cooper Kupp. So I think they'll be fine offensively, and they pretty much stayed the same on defense. So I think that team that almost beat the Eagles last year, that if they beat the Eagles, I think they have a shot at making it to NFC Championship game.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought process is they really didn't do too much. I mean, Devontae Adams to me is better than Cooper Kupp. And now you can use Puka in the slot, so you can kind of open up Puka a little bit more. So I mean, the Rams have Sean McVay calling plays. You know, they're going to be good. And like you said, they damn near made an NFC Championship last year. So I really think that if they do what they did last year, and that was also with some injuries last year too, you know. I know Matthew Stafford's kind of tweaked his back or something, so he could potentially be hurt. He's going to play, but they said he tweaked his back. So if he can stay healthy, they can definitely make a playoff push. But this is a really good game to start off the year.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford's not even an injury list. Like not even questionable or probable or anything. So I
They were
think it
saying
would.
he had like back spasms or something.
Yeah, that's what we're saying in the training camp. But as of right now, at least on ESPN, it says there's no probable or anything like that, which is a good sign, I guess. I'm going
Yeah.
to go with the Rams here. I just think that team's a slightly better team than the Texans, even though I know the Texans can be really good and that pass rush can get to Matthew Stafford. And if he takes the wrong sack, which is going to be on the Rams offensive line to keep Matthew Stafford upright, at least for the
Mhm.
first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Because if that back's still hurting him and he takes a big sack and hits his back wrong on the ground on turf, oh man, it's going to cause huge problems for the Rams.
Yeah, I think the Rams' offensive line is better than the Texans' offensive line. I think Texans' defense is better than the Rams' defense, but I really think that this is going to come down to Matthew Stafford getting the ball out quick, not allowing the pass rush to even be an issue. So I'm going to go with the Rams as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams here. I think it'll be 27-20. I think it'll be close. All right.
All right.
Really
Yep.
good. You can start off if you want.
No, go ahead.
Really, we're getting down to three really. Well, after this, we'll do Titans. But after that, we're down. These are some of the best games of the week
Hmm.
right here. This is the bread and butter. Why they're at 4 o'clock in primetime games.
Yep.
Lions Packers. What should have been the Lions' magical Super Bowl run last year, and Micah Parsons is now a Green Bay Packer in that crazy defense that they have.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of notables in this game. We'll start off with the obvious. The Packers get Micah Parsons. So their pass rush is going to be insane. I know everybody kind of has them jumping to be a Super Bowl favorite after that addition.
Micah
I
Parsons is
have bigger
questionable
questions.
with a joint sprain in his back.
Yeah, I don't know if Micah Parsons makes them a Super Bowl contender, but they were already a playoff team, so I get why. Um, and the Lions, they're losing both their coordinators. That's the biggest storyline, in my opinion. Who replaces Ben Johnson and who replaces Aaron Glenn? So I think that's probably bigger than Micah Parsons being on the Packers. I think that's bigger than anything that could possibly be said, other than a quarterback being hurt. Losing both your coordinators is huge.
Yeah, I look, and it was well deserved for Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson.
Hmm.
Like they made that team really good, especially Ben Johnson on that offense. He had trick plays that no one could figure out. Like it was actually
Yeah.
insane how good he was last year.
Well, the other thing I'll say about Aaron Glenn, look at the injuries that the Lions had last year. They were the most injured team in like decades, and they still found a way to win football games.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like they literally, oh my god, oh my god, they did such a good job. I'm worried about the Lions a little bit, not as much because they have the same team, they have the same defense,
Yeah.
and they're not going to be as injured as they were last year. But that offense, I think, is going to start off clicking. Hopefully, that's what they need them to be. Aiden Hutchins still there. They got the linebackers. They got everyone back. So their defense is going to be solid. They're going to get the pressure to quarterback. That offense can be explosive. I'm just interested to see if the coordinators, those two losses is going to affect the team in any way. It on paper
Mhm.
it shouldn't, but always when you switch coordinators, there are new stuff you have to learn, and it might affect that team. Might have to let them adjust a few weeks before the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thing. How long is it going to take for them to be in a groove?
And the Packers, they added Matthew Golden this year, which is first round wide receiver like in like forever. It was funny. They made a joke about it at the draft. And they still got Josh Jacobs. Jordan Love needs to take a step up. He needs to make better decisions than he did last year. I mean, you're a 6, 7 year quarterback. You don't have much time to figure it out right now. Like, because you've been able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, you've been able to figure it out. You have the offense around you. This is your time to actually put up points, and you have the insanely good pass rush. Even though their pass rush was really good last year, they have an even better pass rush. So there you go. Your defense is going to get you stops. Is going to get you interceptions. It's just going to be up to Jordan Love and that offense for them to figure it out and be able to score at least 20 to 30 points a game.
Yeah. With all that being said, I am going to go ahead and put my pick in. I'm going to say the Lions are going to win this football game.
Funny. I'm going the same way. I'm going the Lions. I do like what they did, Micah Parsons edition. I do like Matthew Golden. I just don't know if they're ready to play. I don't know if Jordan Love's ready to have a shootout yet. Maybe in the second quarter of the season, like week 5, 6-ish, maybe they'll click. But I don't know if it's a shootout. I don't know I don't think the Packers are going to be able to keep up.
I also looked up the record over the past few years. The Lions are 6-1 against the Packers
Oh my god!
in the last 7 games.
Damn.
And that was before the Lions were good.
Oh my goodness, that's actually insane, honestly. I'm gonna go Lions 28 to 21.
I'm going to go 31-21
Ooh,
Lions.
okay. I don't even know what the spread is, but for that, but I'm pretty sure it's within
I don't
like
know
5
either.
or something. The last time I checked.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Before we get
Yeah,
to
the good
two
one.
biggest games,
Dude.
or what I
Yeah.
think are the 2 biggest games of the week 1. Titans Broncos. Ian's
Yeah,
second
hell of
favorite
a-
team versus the Broncos.
Hell of a game for the Titans to start out with a rookie quarterback and a coach on the hot seat against the Denver Broncos. Tough for Cam Ward. Should be an easy matchup for the Bo Nix-led Broncos. I mean, I like what the Titans did in the offseason. Obviously, you got your quarterback. You're into what is this? Is this Callahan's 3rd year or is this his 2nd year? I think it's his 3rd year. I think his seat's kind of hot,
Second year, yeah.
in my opinion. If Cam Ward doesn't go out there and win 6 games and the offense looks like crap with Cam Ward, I think you have to get a new coach because you can't waste Cam Ward's years. I like Calvin Ridley. I don't love Calvin Ridley, but I like Calvin Ridley. I like the Tyler Lockett edition. I like Okonkwo. I'm okay with Tony Pollard. It's just, to me, it's a lot of okay pieces. I don't think anybody's dominant. So, like, when you look at teams around the league, Calvin Ridley, to me, is just like a good wide receiver. Like, you don't have like a Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase. Obviously, nobody's got Jamar Chase, but you know what I mean? Like a dominant wide receiver to pair with your quarterback. Yeah. And I think, like I said, he's okay. You know, Tyler Lockett's okay at this point in his career. You just don't have dominant anywhere on that team other than maybe Jeffrey Simmons.
That is very true. I honestly, actually, from at least training camp and how Calvin really played the end of last season, I actually think Calvin really can be a good wide receiver 1 that Cam Ward can rely on. But really, yeah, like you said, Tyler Lockett's at the back half of his career. He's not gonna be that Tyler Lockett that he was before, and especially in a new offense, he's been in Seattle basically all his career. Yeah. So, and then their wide receiver 3. Guess what? Who's their wide receiver 3? I bet you can't name him.
Wide receiver 3 for the Titans.
Alec
No, I don't know.
Ayamanor.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need... I don't know how Van Jefferson didn't get 3rd, but whatever. They need help offensively a little bit, but I think Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett are decent enough. And I do not like their running backs. I'll just tell you now. I don't like their running backs.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, Tony Pollard's okay. He's not scaring anybody week to week. Their offensive line isn't that good. Like I think Cam Ward has a very fast release, so he could potentially make that offensive line look a little better than it actually is. But
Yeah.
you don't have a defense that's going to keep you in every single game if you go 3-and-out 4 or 5 times. If you go 3-and-out 4 or 5 times, the Titans defense is not holding a team scoreless that long, which that's the hiccup of the, rookie quarterback. And the Broncos, they're not going to, if for whatever reason the Titans can't get the ball moving and 4 drives to start off the game, Denver will go up 14 almost immediately.
Oh yeah. They did add Lloyd Cushenberry as center, who's actually good. Like that's a good center. That they added. But Cam Ward's gonna have to figure it out. And
Yep.
it's week 1 against a really good defense that they had last year, getting even better this year. That the Denver Broncos have. They added a name. What was Hufanga? Yeah, they added
Hufanga,
Hufanga,
yeah.
who was an amazing strong safety for the Niners the last couple of years.
Yep.
And that just makes that defense even better. The bright spot, at least for the Titans, is their defense. It's been the bright spot for the Titans have always been their defense for like 3-4 years now. Especially with Jeffrey Simmons, Sebastian Joseph Day, they can brush the passer. They have pretty good pass rush. And they get L'Jarius Sneed back, which is huge. So I think
that
they
will
can
be
play
huge.
really good defense. But I don't know. I think the offense will stutter too much. That it's gonna be a bend don't break defense, but it's gonna break because of the offense breaking.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even have to look at the roster. I look at the depth chart here for the Broncos. There's not really anything notable that
notable.
that's
Yeah,
gonna
I don't
hurt
think
them.
they. Yeah.
So I'm taking the Broncos 30-10.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low scoring game for the Titans and a decent scoring game for the Broncos. I think 33-14
I just think
Broncos.
schedule makers just screwed over Cam Ward.
They did. Which maybe they had the schedule kind of lined up last year before, but still, I don't like this game for them at all.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. I mean, hopefully they can keep it close. Cam Ward at least can, but
Yeah.
I mean they got to score right away. I mean, I don't see that. I see them going 3-and-out in the first drive. So.
Yeah. Next game is going to be probably the biggest game of the week. Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. Huge game. 2 explosive offenses, 2 really good defenses, 2 great coaching staffs, 2 great front offices that know how to draft, good running backs, good quarterbacks, good wide receiver. I mean, it's everything you want in a Sunday night football game. This is a smash mouth Sunday night football game that everybody should look forward to, whether you don't like the Bills or you don't like the Ravens.
Before you get into it, there's some pretty big injuries for the Ravens. Isaiah Likely, Jair Alexander, and Patrick Ricard, who's been like their big piece on the running game blocking.
Yeah.
They all didn't practice today, and they're all questionable. So that's not a good sign for them right now.
Yeah, that's not good. Jair, I feel like they knew was kind of going to be an issue when they grabbed him. Ricard being out does kind of affect them kind of big. Isaiah Likely, he was still the tight end too, but everybody saw he emerged last year, with Mark Andrews not having the best year. But they still have Mark Andrews, so there is still hope there. And Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry is going to take a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and even on the Bills side, their 2 starting corners could potentially be out week 1 or longer. So that is not a good sign for them either. Yeah, the Ravens, I do like them adding DeAndre Hopkins. Zay Flowers is really good. I really like Zay Flowers, but I still don't think he's going to be able to blossom into a wide receiver 1 this year. I still think it's take him some time. But that's why they signed DeAndre Hopkins, to have a little veteran help over there. Mark Andrews is slowing down. He's not getting any younger.
Yeah, the D-Hop signing was good because they needed like a big contested catch guy that could really spread the field. But you're right. Zay Flowers is really good. one, but he's a really good wide receiver.
Yeah, and then their defense, it's always been really good. I've always thought that their main weakness was their pass rush at times.
Yeah, their interior defensive line is not very good. They have a Owe. They do have pieces, right? It's just they don't always get to the QB, but where they excel at, they've got a good secondary, they've got a good linebacker core, and their offense stays on the field a long time because they run the football so well.
Yeah, Jair Alexander is a huge signing, especially, and he might not be able to play week 1, which is huge. Like, that's a big signing. That's actually gonna make their secondary tighten up a lot more.
Yeah.
And make that pass rush have a little bit, at least a little bit more time to be able to get to the quarterback. And then with the Buffalo Bills, they got a really good offensive line, as always, top 5 offensive line for the last few years. I think Keon Coleman's going to be stepping into his own role. I think he's going to be ending up wide receiver 1 by the end of the year. He just looked amazing in training camp. They still got Shakir. I guess it actually doesn't matter who you put at wide receiver. I mean, Josh Allen's going to find him. That's just one of 3 guys that can make any wide receiver look like a starting wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have tight end help. Good, like you said, good offensive line.
Oh, they listed
and Josh Allen
Kincaid as the number 1 tight end. Interesting.
I figured that was going to happen.
Yeah, I like that they did that. I just a little surprised because Dawson Knox been the starter for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the plan. But again, they have 2 good tight ends. So where they lack at that with wide receiver, they make up for it with pass catching tight ends that excel. And their defense led the league in takeaways last year. When you do that, that helps out the offense tremendously.
And now you add Joey Bosa to the mix.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the biggest matchup of this game is going to be if Josh Allen can score, they can get that passing game going against the secondary. And especially if Jair doesn't play, it's going to help him a little bit. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to have John Harbaugh is going to have this Ravens team prepared for the Bills based off of last season. So what Josh Allen and them going to have to do, they're going to be able to have. Wait, my bad. They're going to have to be able to run the ball, and they're going to have to be able to pass it down that defense. If they can run the ball, just like any other team, if they can run the ball well, it will open up their passing game. But I really think the matchup that I am looking for here is Keon Coleman against that secondary.
Yeah, I've got I'll say I don't know the actual line for this, but I am going to pick the Bills to win this, being it's in Buffalo. Reigning MVP against the runner-up MVP. I'm gonna give this one to the Bills.
Yeah, this one's gonna be. It's gonna be tight.
This is gonna be one of the best games of the year.
Yeah, literally. But I have to go Bills here at home. Josh Allen. Lamar is really good. That offense is really good. I just think the Bills will take this one early in week 1. I think it's gonna be
I like
35-30.
Yeah. I could see this going to the 4th quarter, 2-minute drive. Whoever's got the ball is gonna win. So give me the Bills.
Okay. Last game of week 1, Vikings and Chicago Bears.
Yeah, this is interesting because both teams are going to look different than they did last year. Mainly because the Bears have a new head coach and the Minnesota Vikings have a new quarterback. So that is going to be a big, big deal. The Bears loaded with weapons. Realistically, one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL from top to bottom. You've got a true number 1. You've got multiple wide receivers that can go after them that are true wide receiver 2s. You've got Cole Kmet. You just picked up Loveland. You made a bunch of moves on the offensive line, and you grabbed the best play caller in the NFL. Top 5 play caller in the NFL. So really, they helped Caleb Williams out a lot.
This game is going to be a lot of fun, especially just because it's Caleb Williams' second year. But also starting off on the Viking side, JJ McCarthy, how is he going to look in basically his first ever start in a real NFL game because he got injured last year in preseason?
He only played one preseason game.
Literally, yeah, and he got injured
last
in that
year.
Game. Yeah, he tore his ACL, and it's going to be with Jordan Addison out. That's always hurts because he's really good in wide receiver too. He was able to be a deep threat where Justin Jefferson didn't have to. I really like their addition of bringing Adam Thielen back because Jordan Addison was suspended. They need a little help there. Jalen Naylor, who was really good for them last year, looking to be out this week because it's not looking good for him to play week 1 at least. So JJ McCarthy is going to have to rely on his running game a little bit. I'm not sure what he's going to look like raw after the ACL injury. Is it going to bother him a little bit or not? Who knows? We don't know until we see it. But he does have the weapons there. He still has Justin Jefferson. He still has TJ Hawkinson. He still has his O-line. Their defensive line has been good. They Johnson Allen, Javon Hargrave. I think they added either Javon Hargrave or Johnson Allen, one or the other. But it was a really good addition because that's going to help their pass rush a lot. And Harrison Smith.
Well, and they still got Brian Flores.
Oh, yeah, they do. Harrison Smith's looking like he might be out with a personal issue. He's been out for a little while, so I don't know if he'll make week 1.
I love Brian Flores. I'm a huge Brian Flores fan, and the fact that he didn't get a job and was able to stay on the staff is huge for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's really good too. I'm interested to see JJ McCarthy's first game. It might take a little bit of time to connect with everybody, but I'm excited to see him play, honestly. I think they're going to rely a little bit more on Aaron Jones just because it's JJ's first game, but it's going to be fun to watch. And then Chicago Bears-wise, I am super... Whoa. They listed... Oh, Luther Burns starting wide receiver 3 already. Dang. Okay. So that offense is stacked. They have lots of weapons. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift, Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet. Colston Loveland's at the number 1 right now, actually.
I saw that coming. Which is weird because they paid Kmet.
Yeah, I didn't think... Yeah, I thought he'd be starting. Well, ESPN sometimes wrong, so who knows? Like, I don't think it's really the official depth chart, but their defense, they added Grady Jarrett, who was really good for the Falcons. I'd say he was really good for us, and I wish he stayed, but he did slow down last year. He wasn't getting through those double teams as he would have last year, but also singly, he wasn't able to get as much pressure as he's had in the past, so he is slowing down a little bit, probably because of his age. But also, the Bears' defense has been really good the last couple of years. They've also made some boneheaded mistakes. Some of their players, like I'm looking at you, Tyreek Stevenson, or whoever was pointing at the Hail Mary. But their pass rush is going to be good. Their linebackers going to be good. Their secondary is going to be good. It's proving like the Bears. This is the Bears' season to actually get some wins together. I know they're in a tough division, but they can be a really good team if Caleb Williams connects everything. He can pass it anywhere, wherever, and however he wants. With that said, I'm gonna go to the Bears here. I'm gonna take the Bears over the Vikings. I really like what Caleb Williams, how he'll progress his second year, and I think he has way too many offensive weapons that he can't ignore all of them. Like no matter what happens, he's got too many explosive weapons. And I think that's gonna be too much for the Vikings, especially in week 1 in JJ's first start. So I'm gonna take the Bears 28-20.
All right. So this is our second disagreement.
Yep, I figured.
I am gonna go with the Vikings. One, I'm very high on Kevin O'Connell and what he can do for quarterbacks. So I really think JJ McCarthy is going to go out there. He's been able to sit an entire year just watching the offense go through Sam Darnold. My thing with the Bears is I think it will take a couple games for them to be able to do what Ben Johnson needs them to do. So when it comes to like playing at the standard of football that Ben Johnson wants to do, I think it's going to take a while for that to happen. And that's why I'm going to lean on the Vikings on this one. Again, it could go either way. I'm not saying the Bears are going to be bad. I just think it's going to take a couple games for them to be able to do what Ben Johnson wants. So that is why I'm going to lean on the Vikings on this one.
All right, so let's make a bet here. Let's say the Bears win, right?
Okay.
You buy me cookies.
I'll buy you a cookie. All right. And if the Vikings win, you buy me a cookie.
All right, we'll go to
Insomnia.
yeah. All right. Well, that's all our week 1 picks, guys. The last thing, really, that is the last on the list that I've been holding since the beginning, that I told you guys at the beginning of the stream, of the episode. Last thing we need to talk about, Ian, Micah Parsons. I'm gonna let you get your say already, but Micah Parsons.
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I understand where a team is coming from when they don't want to spend 30% of their cap on one player. I do, to a point, understand that, but when you have a generational player at any position on offense or defense, you do not let them go away. And 2, if you're going to let them go away, they have to be before the draft. You cannot do that trade after the draft. You have to stick to your guns, either make them play, make them sit, whatever, but you do not do that trade after the draft because you screwed all your capital. And then from Jerry Jones, you don't talk all that crap you were talking in the media. That stays behind closed doors. You don't make a big scene about it. I just think it was handled completely wrong. And I think he should still be a Cowboy. I think they got decent compensation, but again, if they would have done it before the draft, you probably would have got 3 first-rounders.
Micah Parsons, like Ian said, he's a generational player. Everybody knows that. He's 26 in the prime of his career. And for Jerry Jones just to go and be like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to your agent. I just want to talk to you directly. I offered you a deal. I didn't care if I go into your agent." That just to me shows a little bit of a childish attitude from Jerry Jones, and also an egotistic view from Jerry Jones, because everybody knows Jerry Jones always wants to talk about his Cowboys, no matter what coach he has, no matter what he has on his team, that will actually answer truthfully and honestly and not biased. He always wants to be the covered face of the Cowboys. He always wants his voice to be heard, which is a bad thing, especially with what he's doing. But he's always talking bad about his players. What he did was unexcusable, talking about Michael Parsons like he was nothing to that team, when he was the literal reason that team got any pass rush pressure, and why that team had DeMarcus Lawrence not being overwhelmed, being by himself for that long, and especially the reasons why they were going to the playoffs every year before last year. And to me, just a horrible way to say it from Jerry Jones. He's kind of a dumb owner, and he needs to take a step back from at least being in the media. He just needs to sit back, be his owner self. Let your coach, let your GM, let whoever you hire do the talking for you. Do not get your egotistic mind in the way of your team, because this is what happened. If you go out and you trash mouth your star player, the best player on your team, arguably, and you have to trade him, and you're like the literal first thing he said, he was like, "Oh, it's a good thing we have Kenny Clark. We needed to stop the run." It was like Micah Parsons obviously it's not a run stopper, but also he did stop the run well. Like, I mean, he wasn't horrible. I mean, he wasn't great, but he was able to get enough pass rush to where even if you're doing halfback draws or running a stretch, if he's getting that backfield, it causes so much pressure on the running back to be able to tackle him. Like there was literally times where he pushed the offensive line back on a run play where the defense was able to tackle him behind the line just because of Micah Parsons. Like, you don't get that generational talent anywhere. And to basically dismiss him as a nobody, as, oh, we need to stop the run. This guy's going to be better for us. A 30-year-old defensive tackle, really? Yeah. The Cowboys are in shambles. And Jerry Jones is the reason for that. And if they don't make the playoffs, Jerry Jones is going to be the reason.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. The last piece of news for the Cowboys, while we're talking about Cowboys, they're in active contract discussions to extend left guard Tyler Smith in his extension eligible period. If it's completed before week 1, it would be the first time since Travis Frederick in 2016 that the Cowboys extended a first rounder at his first opportunity. And then Smith says the deal will come in due time. Yeah.
And they did just sign Duron Bland.
Yeah, they did. After they traded Mike.
Yeah. I think that was Jerry Jones saying, like, hey, we're willing to pay people.
Yeah, except the person you need to.
Yeah. Apparently the deal wasn't that bad. It's just he didn't want to talk with the agent. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, where I have it right here. What is it? They said that Micah Parsons, a breakdown in negotiations triggered a trade and new deal. It was a really good offer. That's what I was seeing. It was a really good offer he got. Like he would have taken it, but the fact that Jerry Jones didn't go through his agent, like,
Yep.
It's actually insane how it worked out.
Well,
anything
I think
else you'd like to say, Ian?
That's all I can really think of myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? Maybe some more stuff will happen, and maybe after Thursday's game or Friday's game, we can go live again.
Yeah. Well,
finally get some football action in 2 nights.
That'd be fun. That's gonna be fun. Only one more night before no football.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for joining us on the stream. As always, this stream will be recorded on YouTube, so as to the live ends, it'll be processed, and then you guys can watch it whenever you like. I'm gonna be working on trying to get these podcasts back on Google Podcasts and Spotify and stuff like that, so you guys can listen to it in the car or whatnot. But yeah, just go on YouTube if you guys want to listen to some football. Talk about our big game picks and all that analysis and all that. Definitely go check it out after tomorrow when it's done. Appreciate it, Tim. Thank you for watching again, Tim. We appreciate you, dude.
Yep, we are officially back.
Yeah, we are officially back. Yes, sir. It's nice to say. But if you guys are new, subscribe. We don't have a schedule set yet, but we'll be going live actually as much as we can.
And at least once a week. We will make sure we do it once a week, at least.
You heard it from Ian. Once a week we'll be doing the podcast. So
could be more, but it'll be at least once a week.
So if you guys are new and like football and want to hear about your favorite team, we talk about every single team literally every week.
Yep.
So you ain't missing out on your favorite team.
As fans of, I'm a fan of a small market team, Jaguars. He's a fan of the Falcons. We kind of get skipped in the media a lot, which is why we decided to do this and talk about every single team.
No. Literally, my Google Docs from 2 years ago has bolded every single team and all their news under it. So I had to delete those today, but they had news from 2 years ago under every single team. So we do talk about all your favorite teams. We don't specifically focus on certain teams. We talk about all of them. But thank you guys again. We will be back once a week. We might be back again this week after the games to recap that. But thank you guys again, and we will see you guys next time. See you guys later.
Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PI Podcast and on Twitter at PI Podcasters. Until next time.